Okay, nutrition is one of my favorite topics to cover. Unfortunately, we don't have hours upon hours to talk about this, and there's even university degrees dedicated to nutrition. But in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll talk as in depth as we can about why nutrition is so important and the general ways you should be thinking about food and eating properly, right? So in fitness and in health in general, obviously we can work out to get better, right? To be more fit, to be healthier. But even if we were to come in and work out for 1 hour every single day, 7 days a week, that's a lot of working out. There's still 23 hours of the day that we can be doing things to improve our health, right? Obviously you could sleep better, you could reduce stress levels, and then the other way is to eat properly, right? So when we talk about nutrition in CrossFit, I like to think about nutrition as in like two separate aspects. One is the quality of food you eat. And the second is the quantity of food you eat, or the portions of food. And these are both very important aspects of nutrition. I'm just going to throw some specific diets out here that you can always go back through and research a little bit more on your own. A few of them are the paleo diet, all right, the Whole30, and the zone diet. All right? Again, these are all things that you can go and read up on. There's tons and tons of books and resources out there describing in depth why these diets work, what they are, how to do it. We like to touch up on a little bit of the basic ideas behind these certain diets, behind these specific diets, and just package it more into like a broader kind of sense of what you should be eating and why you should be eating, right? So the quality of food we eat. Basically what we're looking for in quality of food is to eat meats and vegetables, all right, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, and no sugar. There should be nothing surprising about what I just wrote up on the whiteboard. All right? This basically describes your paleo diet. It basically describes your Whole30 diet. Most of you have heard or know that you should eat within these limitations here. Maybe some of you have heard of the way to eat or the way to do your shopping, where you shop around the edges of the grocery store, around the perimeter, because that's where you're going to find your vegetables, your fruit, all of your natural food sources. Down the middle of the aisles is where you get your canned stuff, your processed things, the boxes of cereal, the sugar, all that kind of stuff you find in the middle aisles. So a lot of people say, well, if you just shop around the perimeter of a grocery store, you're going to find the majority of these things, right? That's the quality of food you should eat. When we think about nutrition, when we think about putting food into your body, you need to start to change the way you think as in terms of it's not so much for the pleasure and enjoyment of eating, right? You get, the food tastes good while you're chewing it, but then it's in your body, right? And when it's in your body, it begins to change the way you feel. It changes your energy levels. So we're looking to have high quality food so you get high quality energy, right? You can think about your food as you can think about your body as a car, as a machine, right? If you put fuel in your car and you fill it up with high octane gas, good quality gas, it's going to run better. It's going to run longer. All of the pistons and axles and everything that moves is going to last longer. It's not going to wear and tear as quickly. Your body's the same way. Your body's a machine with ligaments and tendons and different connective tissues and all sorts of things that have to kind of work together and work properly in order for them to not break down and not tear down. And again, when you put good quality food in your body, you're just prolonging the good effects you get out of exercising, right? So we're looking for good quality of food to get good quality energy. Now let's go over here and talk about the quantity of food, how much food you should be eating. This goes more towards the zone diet. I'm just going to touch on this very briefly because this is something I could talk about for a whole hour if I wanted to, all right? but the quantity of food you should eat, basically the portion sizes of food you should eat, or the proportions of your macronutrients. So the quantity of food, first thing you need to understand is that there's 3 macronutrients. All right, your macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Second thing you need to understand is that each of these macronutrients have a different effect when they're digested by your body. Right? They signal different hormone responses. So going back to the quality of energy, this is where you begin to actually, the food actually begins to break down and signal the responses that give you good or bad quality energy. For example, protein breaks down into a hormone that signals the release of energy, gives you more energy. A carbohydrate breaks down into a hormone that signals the storage of energy, the storage of body fat, right? So you need to eat the macronutrients in a certain proportion to make sure you're not throwing your hormone levels out of balance. And the way you should eat, or the proportion of the macronutrients you should eat is as follows. 40% of your daily calories should come from carbs. 30% should come from fat, and 30% should come from protein. All right? In the typical diet, in the USDA food pyramid, if you think about that food pyramid, you have the base is all your whole wheats, right? Pastas, bread, grains, everything like that. The next 2 on the USDA food pyramid are your fruits and your vegetables. And then you have meat, and then at the very top, it's the sugars and fat and stuff like that. Basically, what that's promoting is more of like a 70% carbohydrate load, 20% protein, and 10% fat. All right, again, if you think about the macronutrients as things that signal different hormonal responses, if you're thrown way over into high carbohydrates, right, you're only going to get one certain hormonal response, or very unbalanced. Same way, if you only ever eat protein, you'll get a very different hormonal response. So you want these things balanced. The zone diet does a great job of describing why you want each macronutrient in this certain percent. But for our basic understanding, we just need to know that about 40% of your daily calorie intake should come from carbs, 30% from fat, 30% from protein. If you think about it, if you want to look at like a plate of food, for example, I won't draw it up here, but you take your dinner plate, if you were to put about a palm-sized portion of meat, protein, and then fill up the plate with as many vegetables as you can get on it, and then serve yourself maybe like a half cup of a starchy carbohydrate, let's say like a rice or a potato, you're going to be pretty dang close to this, 40, 30, 30. All right? In the zone diet, it also explains how much each individual person should eat. All right? And basically, they prescribe zone blocks. And a zone block, all a zone block is a unit of measurement that when we eat it, we get exactly this ratio, the 40-30-30 ratio. Basically, one zone block, and I'll describe this quickly, is 7 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbohydrates, and 1.5 grams of fat. The first question I always get when describing what a zone block is, well, 30% fat and 30% protein, why is it 7 grams of protein and 1.5 grams of fat? The simple answer is because fats are packed with calories, right? So 1.5 grams of fat, calorie-wise, is the same as 7 grams of protein. So just get that out of the way real quick. Remember that this is one block. Depending on whether you're a male or a female, if you are a larger male, small or medium-sized male, small male, large female, medium-sized female, small female, how athletic you are, how much working out do you do during a day, you would eat a different amount of blocks in a day. Just as an example, again, I am 6'2", 190 pounds, right? I work out a ton, and so I eat somewhere around 22 to 23 blocks per day. And I allocate those blocks however I'd like, just following some general guidelines like making sure I eat every 3 to 4 hours, right? But I allocate those blocks throughout the day how I like. So I can eat a breakfast, let's say, of 5 blocks. That leaves me with about 17 blocks left to eat throughout the day. I can divide some blocks up into snacks. That way I'm making sure I eat every 3 or 4 hours. This number of blocks will change person to person, right? If you're a smaller female, you do a moderate amount of working out, you might only be eating 10 or 11 blocks. But again, this is all described in the Zone Diet. Great resources online. You can always ask any of our coaches if you would like further, more detail into the Zone Diet. We have nutritional experts here at the gym as well that can help you get on track with either the Zone Diet or a Paleo diet or Whole30 diet, changing the way you eat to get the most out of your working out. Again, some simple things that you need to think about when you're thinking about nutrition, though, is that food is only good for the few seconds that you're chewing it, in terms of like it's tasty. After that, it serves the purpose of giving you energy. And if you want good energy, you need to eat good foods, right? If you are tired of feeling sluggish, tired, let's say around 2 p.m., how many people get tired around 2 p.m.? If you're tired of feeling like that, sleeping bad, waking up after 8 hours of sleep but still feeling sleepy, right? It all comes from what you eat. And that you can change. You eat better, you're going to sleep better. You're going to wake up and have more energy. You're going to get to the gym and your workouts are going to go better. All of a sudden, you're going to start noticing huge results in terms of maybe like your weightlifting, you're getting stronger. Maybe you're dropping some sizes in clothes. Maybe you're able to run farther, right? All of those results, all of those things are a result of what you eat, all right? Quality, quantity, this is what we like to promote in CrossFit.